Fine. So now before I start, actually, I wanted to share one or two things with all of you. Today, I am observing that there are 42 attendees right now in my list of the attendees. I am told last week that some of the students have left and some of the students have joined. So in fact, I have added the new list provided by the department to me. I hope that all of you, those who were earlier attending my lectures, are also included in this list. I can see some of the names which I can figure out. Those names were earlier also. And those who have joined new, I hope all of you have also been added. And even if somebody is left out, please route your name through head of the department or either Rupal Shah, who is the teacher supervisor. Say today I have added one Vaishnav. Is she there in the list now? Vaishnav girl? Hello. I have added many students. I hope that Shraddha Vaishnav is there. Okay, doesn't matter. If you have not received, I have already invited you. And if you are here listening me, just you will be able to join. So just this name was provided to me 2 days back. I have added Shraddha Vaishnav. And similarly, as I told you that I have already added the new list provided by the department. Now, because there are lot of new entries I can see, because average attendance when I was taking the lecture in the past few days was somewhere around 25 to 30 at the most. So now 12, 13 members are new, what I suppose. And I hope that all of you will be able to pick up, because you have missed at least 3-4 lectures wherein I have covered certain diagrammatic representation part. And I think I don't remember, but whether Dhruvi can confirm that have I loaded some up in the file section? Have you checked your file section? Hello.
Yes, yeah, it is there. It is there.
I think I have already. I have uploaded 11 pages. Page number 1 to 11 are there, right?
Yeah.
Fine. I just wanted to make sure that whether I have uploaded all those papers or not. So anyways, now it is in your file section of FYBSc, this paper team. And those who have joined after my lectures and whatever now, because today I'm seeing now 45 attendees are there. So I am pretty sure that 15-20 of you might not have attended my previous lectures. So please download all those material, go through that. It is not so technical. I am just discussing something just like still we have not come to the analysis part, which I am going to start today. But please just go ahead and just try to see that what is there, and then later on we can discuss. Yes, Atul Sahani. Atul, have you raised your hand? Atul, hello.
सॉरी सर गलती से हो गया सर.
अतुल, हाँ बोलिए, क्या कह रहे हैं आप?
सर सॉरी गलती से हो गया सर.
अच्छा अच्छा, तो बेटा नीचे कर लीजिए, आपका हैंड रेज हो गया है थोड़ा सा. And anyways, don't worry. I am going to discuss, as you have attended my 3-4 lectures, so you know that
Yes.
my style of teaching. So
Yes,
don't worry
sir.
about that. With those few opening remarks, I am just coming to my lecture of the day. As you told that my screen is visible, so page number 15, and it starts with the characteristics of the frequency distribution. I hope you have seen the syllabus also, which I have also uploaded long back in the file section of the same team. Now, what we have been discussing so far in the last 3 lectures was the basic idea of the different types of diagrams. And diagrams are just nothing but a kind of diagrams in the sense that we are representing different types of data. Depending upon the data, the type of diagram is chosen. And that is what I have been trying to train you, that you should be knowing that when you should draw the pie diagram, when you should draw the time plot, or when you should go for multiple bar diagram, and so on and so forth. Because in most of the cases, there are diagrams available, but people actually do not know that in which situation or for what type of data, what type of diagram they should draw. So that was my effort in the previous lectures. But as you know that the diagrams are only diagrams, they just provide you an idea that how the data is behaving, in the sense that you can see whether it is increasing or decreasing or no specific pattern, something like that, or just a kind of picture like a circle or like a rectangle as you have seen in the histogram case, or a frequency polygon or a freehand curve and so on and so forth. So you just have an idea of the tendency of the data. But when you talk about something like in terms of figures and numbers, and suppose you just take a very simple example of MS University when there are 45,000 students approximately, and you want to say that what is the average height of these students, or you can consider any characteristic of the population under study. In that case, what happens is that once you collect the data, that data has its own inclination or its own tendency to move towards a center point. It is just like, I hope most of you have studied physics in the school level, either at the 10th or the 12th level. There is a concept of center of gravity. Now, center of gravity is something like which is in the center of a particle or a part or a mass. I can say, I should not say particle. There is a mass, and in that mass there is a center. So in that case, what happens is that the body tends to stabilize around that center. Say, for example, have you ever wondered when you place your mobile or any object on the table or anything, even if you are standing, how are you standing? That's not a question. Sir, I am standing because my body is balanced. Your body is balanced around what? Suppose you just tilt your leg, right, left, anyone. So what will happen? Your body will lean. Lean matlab thoda jhuk jayegi. It will not stand straight. So what is the idea? The simple thing is that you are able to stand straight because of the you are in align with the center of gravity of your body. So the same is the concept carried forward in the data. Where is the center of gravity of the data, or where the data is trying to tend? So this is the name as such it suggests the measures of central tendency. There are three words. Of is just connecting word. I'll explain each and every word. What is central, what is tendency, and what is measure. So tendency is kind of is a tendency, as I told you. Generally, the data tries to come back to the average. So that is called tendency. But the next question is that where you are trying to go back. Fine, I have a data of 45,000 students. So where this data is heading towards? ये data कहाँ जा रहा है? या किस तरफ जा रहा है? So in that case, first of all, I should be able to locate my center. That where is the center of the data? Say, for example, everybody talks about what is the capital of a state or what is the capital of India. Say, everybody knows Delhi or Gandhinagar or whatever. So now from Delhi, what is the distance of Baroda, or what is the distance of Ahmedabad, or what is the distance of, say, Rajkot? So that is what is the distance. But you know that what is the distance. So if I am measuring that what is the distance of a particular city with respect to what, so there must be a center point with respect to I am talking about the distance of various cities. Similarly, in the data also, the data tries to come back to a central point. So I'll keep on telling all those things. This is just like a story part, but you know it all these things. So measure means how you are going to measure this center point. So there is not only one measure. All of you have studied. I'm just telling you the same thing in a different way. Mean median mode आप सबने पढ़ा है, लेकिन I am going to tell the same mean median mode in a different context. So what happens is that whether there is a population means suppose 45,000 of MSU, or there is a sample. Sample means what? It is a part of the population which you take from the population. Say for example, from MSU whole as a whole, you just select, say, science faculty. Now you know that in science faculty there are around 3,000 students. So that is called the sample. But whether it is a population or whether it is a sample, everything has its own tendency. So what I'm going to tell, in the samples as well as in the population, one generally finds a preponderance. Preponderance means a kind of tendency of the values somewhere around the middle. That is what I am telling. That आप बोलते हैं ना कि the average height of, suppose the average height of the MSU student is 5 feet 7 inches. That does not mean that every student is 5'7". You may be 5'5", you may be 5'10", you may be 5'4", you may be 5'9", whatever. But the idea is that the average value is say 5'7". So that means any value has a tendency to move towards the center, somewhere in the center. And center is nothing but the middle of the observation in just one line. If you just simply draw a straight line on your notebook and you know that where is the center. That's the idea of center. And from the word center, the word comes central. Of course, you can divide the whole line into 3 parts, 4 parts, 5 parts that we can discuss later on. But when you talk about the center, that means you are trying to divide your data exactly into 2 parts. And why we find out mean median mode? Everybody knows that how to find mean median mode. But if I ask you why we should find, then I'm telling you the answer. If you can locate the center, suppose I make a statement once again that the average height of the students of MS University is 5 feet 7 inches. Sir, what this sentence conveys, or what is the meaning of this sentence? So the next line says that we should talk about the center. As I just told you, center means half. Then I can make another statement that fine, if the average height is 5 feet 7 inches, it implies that 50% of the student are less than 5'7", and 50% of the student are more than 5 feet 7 inches of the height. This is the data analysis conclusion. So the most important part in statistics is that not only you collect the data, you should analyze the data very carefully. And in that, we are starting with what I have given you the heading, and in your syllabus also, the characteristics of a frequency distribution. So if there is a frequency distribution, as we have seen in the classification and tabulation, where is the center? So again, in samples as well as in populations, one generally finds a preponderance of the values somewhere around the middle or the center of the range of the observations of the observed values. The description of this concentration near the middle or an average is the measure of central tendency. So what is measure of central tendency? It is a measure of the concentration of the data. As I'm sorry that I don't have a board, but you can realize if you draw a diagram of a mass, and then there are certain dots which represents the particles in the mass, then there is a center. So you can see that how these values are concentrated means that I gave you the example that what is the distance between say Ahmedabad and Baroda, what is the distance between Ahmedabad and Rajkot, and like that. So that distance actually I'll discuss later on, but there is an idea of that how these values are centered around. So center is also, or we just call it as an average. Middle part is called that as an average. जैसे आप बोलते ना the average height of the student, आपने क्या word use किया? Average word use किया. So what is the average temperature of Baroda city today? So what you did, you recorded the temperature right from the sunrise to sunset, and then you have added all those values and simply you divided by the total number of observation. That is the simplest thing which we can do with the data. Going ahead from the diagrams, once you have made the diagram, that is one another part, but we are now going to the analytical part of it. And therefore the first thing, simplest thing is that even in real life also, you can add all the observations very easily. So what we have, we just add the observation and divide. Now I would like to introduce the concept of population and the sample here itself, because this is I'm going to use again and again. Now what is population? Population, as you know or as you understand, the general concept in your mind is that population generally आप ये सोचते हैं कि population of human beings. कि जैसे मैंने आपको example दिया, there are 45,000 students of in MSU. So in that case, what happens is that there are 45,000 students that can be considered as a population. Okay, population is something like any collection of units. Now, in statistics, the word population is used in a very general sense, because you see, it is not always the population of human beings. Say if you have visited any forest, or if you have not visited any forest, you know that there is a population of cows, there is a population of buffaloes, or the population of birds, there is a population of anything, even population of trees. So population in statistics has a very wide meaning. So you can have the population of books in the library. So it is not necessary that whenever you refer to or whenever you talk to a population, that simply represents a human being. It can be population of anything, living, non-living even. I have given you the example of say population of trees. You go to a jungle or if you visit a forest, there is not a single tree. There are so many trees in the forest, and then from those trees you are going to collect certain sample. So there is a concept of population, and population is generally assumed to be very big. So for example, everybody knows that what is the population of India. Everybody listens every day that we are 135 crores. Now,
Hello,
India is
sir.
at one. Yes, please.
Sir, I can't see your screen.
My screen is not there.
No, sir, it
No.
is visible.
It's
Yes, Raj.
It is
Yes or
visible,
sir,
no?
I
sir.
just
It is visible,
It
sir.
is visible है मुझे तो.
Then what is the problem?
sir, it's in my side it's blackout and I even cut the call and rejoined again, but it's showing the same.
What? No, but I have admitted
The
all.
black.
हमारा भी
There are 46 students in my list.
Sir,
Yes,
in
sir.
the current
Yeah.
class, also we
Yes.
suffered from this problem, and he pointed out that maybe it's because you are using it in mobile.
He is using mobile. Okay, okay. So what is the trouble?
Sir, I
So,
am not able to see the screen and it's all black. I know that you are
So
sharing
that
the
could be the
screen.
problem of beta. That could be the problem of your mobile or your device, because that is what I'm again and again I'm asking many people, and most of you are saying, "Sir, I am able to see your screen or I am audible." Just that's why I start that I am able to. Are you able to listen to me or not? So
Yeah,
maybe
sir,
that
I
is,
am able to listen.
huh?
I'm able to listen you, but the screen second window which you have shared, that's all
Huh.
totally blackout
So
in my device.
that
So
may be the problem with your mobile, beta. That's not an issue from
Then
my side.
restart the phone.
Okay, okay, doesn't matter even if you are not able to see my screen. Of course, it is better that if you can see my screen. Uh, my suggestion would be if you can switch on to some other device. Maybe that is the problem of your device. I can understand, because I think most of
okay,
you are
sir.
able to see my screen. Once again,
Oh,
I'm asking once again for the last time. Most of you are able to see my screen.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Okay,
Yes,
yes,
let
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir. No.
thank you.
sir.
Thank you very much. That is again a kind of a population and a sample. You are 46, and out of 46, most of you are answering yes, sir, yes, sir, yes, sir. So, anyways, that is what I can always connect. Say the population, the concept of population is very important, and that is why I am going very slow in these initial lectures. Say if somebody asks you, आपसे कोई पूछे कि भाई what is the idea of population, तो आपके मन में अभी तक यही रहा होगा या अभी भी होगा ऐसा कि पॉपुलेशन का मतलब क्या है, जस्ट लाइक ह्यूमन बींग्स. ओके, बट हैव यू एवर वंडर्ड, आपने कभी रात में ऊपर आसमान में जाके देखा है कितने तारे सितारे होते हैं? मे बी countless billions and trillions of stars are there in the sky. So that is also the population of star, population of fish in the sea. So it is not, and as I gave you the example of say population of even books in the library. If you visit say अभी तो लॉकडाउन चल रहा है, but whenever you will come to the campus and if you go to Hansa Mehta library, there are at least millions of books. So that is the population of books. So ultimately, sir, what are you trying to say? Sir, I am trying to say that there is a population. Even I know, I think some of you had answered me last time that what is census or વસ્તી ગણતરી આપણે ગુજરાતીમાં જે કહીએ છીએ. So what is the, forget about India and Gujarat and Falana and Dhimaka and MSC. What is the population of Baroda? The population of Baroda is around 25 lakhs. So can you go and approach all those 25 lakh people? Very difficult. But you want to talk about certain characteristics of these 25 lakh people. So what you can do? You can take a sample. So that is the idea of population and sample. Population is just, I can say, is a collection of any object, number of objects, living or non-living. So once you have a population, every population has its own characteristics. And what is your objective? Your objective is to study about these population characteristics. So in that case, what we do? We start with a certain notation, और ये बहुत standard notation है. I hope because आप BSc Statistics Principal के बच्चे हो, तो आप अंत तक शायद MSc भी करो, लेकिन कम से कम BSc तक तो आप 3 साल तक आप स्टैटिस्टिक्स के साथ रहने वाले हैं. And I can bet you that you have made a very good choice. मैं आपको बीच बीच में बताता रहूंगा कि इवन आफ्टर बीएससी आपकी नौकरी लग सकती है। आज बात वो नहीं, क्योंकि कल का लेक्चर वैसे भी चला गया। So it doesn't matter, we have enough time to discuss all these things, that what are the job prospects and what is the scope of statistics students. So coming, क्योंकि ये मैं क्यों बता रहा हूँ, क्योंकि पॉपुलेशन और उसका कंसेप्ट आपके पास हर पेपर में आएगा and it will remain with you as long as you are a student of statistics. So what I am going to tell that this is an average. जैसे मैंने आपको कहा, कुछ ना समझ में आए तो अपनी कागज पेन लेकर के एक लाइन ड्रॉ करो और उस लाइन का सेंटर ढूंढो. That is as simple as that. So you are finding out a center. तो यहाँ पर आप लाइन नहीं, डेटा का सेंटर ढूंढ रहे हैं, बस फर्क ही है. तो जिसको हम सेंटर कहते हैं, वो सेंटर आप बोलते हैं ना, इट इज लोकेशन. लोकेशन आप जैसे आपने कहा ना, गुजरात की राजधानी गांधीनगर में. भाई गांधीनगर कहाँ है? तो यू लोकेट इट जोग्राफिकली. ये नॉर्थ, ये साउथ, ये ईस्ट, तो दिस इज गांधीनगर. सो सेंट्रल टेंडेंसी इज ऑल्सो टर्म्ड एज ए मेजर ऑफ लोकेशन. नाउ व्हाट वी यूज ए नोटेशन. ये हर जगह आपको हर किताब में मिलेगा. द फर्स्ट थिंग इज द पॉपुलेशन मीन, जैसे मैंने आपसे कहा. ओके, फिर से सिंपल एग्जांपल लो. एमएस यूनिवर्सिटी में 45,000 स्टूडेंट्स है, तो व्हाट इज द पॉपुलेशन ऑफ एमएसयू? 45,000. व्हाट इज द एवरेज वेट? आई डोंट नो सर, बट सर दैट इज, वो कुछ वैल्यू होगी, दैट इज से म्यू. एंड म्यू इज जनरल गिवन बाय 1 अपॉन कैपिटल एन. ध्यान दीजिएगा, ये एक नोटेशन है, आपको दिमाग में बैठा लेना है. Capital N is generally used for the population characteristic and small n is used for the sample. The example which I just gave you, say for example MSU से आप साइंस फैकल्टी को सेलेक्ट कीजिए. तो MSU में 45,000 स्टूडेंट्स हैं, साइंस फैकल्टी में 3,000 स्टूडेंट हैं. तो व्हाट इज कैपिटल N? 45,000. व्हाट इज स्मॉल n? 3,000. In simple word. But whatever values you have, you can always add. I hope you know this summation sign. This is called summation I is equal to 1 to n xi. का मतलब क्या? x1 plus x2 plus so on. कहाँ तक जाएंगे आप? xn तक. और अगर n 45,000 है, तुमको 45,000 वैल्यूज को ऐड करना पड़ेगा, right? And that is where the role of statistics becomes very important. That you are trying to say something about the whole population, if possible with the help of a small sample. This is the beauty of your subject. तो anyways, mu याद रखना हमेशा. म्यू इज द नोटेशन. जब कभी भी आप म्यू देखना, तो आपको ये समझ में आएगा कि म्यू इज द मीन ऑफ द पॉपुलेशन. नाउ इट कैन बी एमएसयू, इट कैन बी बड़ौदा, इट कैन बी गुजरात, इट कैन बी इंडिया, इट कैन बी एनीथिंग. तो जनरल नोटेशन इज म्यू. सैंपल इज डिनोटेड बाय एक्स बार. दिस इज डिनोटेड एज एक्स, ऊपर एक डंडी बनी हुई है, दिस इज कॉल्ड एक्स बार. एंड इट इज सिंपली गिवन बाय एज पैरेलल, जैसे आपने यहाँ पे बताया. सैंपल मीन इज गिवन बाय 1 अपॉन n. ध्यान दीजिएगा, दिस इज स्मॉल n. 1 upon n summation I is equal to 1 to n xi. Now, as you have seen in the previous lectures, that the data can be discrete or data can be continuous. So if the data is discrete, in that case, we can have certain data which is, suppose for example, even I have given you the example of very simple, the characteristic of the height of the students. It may happen that 2 or 3 students or maybe more students are having the same height. So in that case, what happens is that say 5'7", 5'7", 5'7", 10 student ऐसे हैं. So that is called frequency. What is frequency? Frequency is nothing but at how many times this value is repeated. So frequency is nothing but repetition. Say for example, if you go to Delhi or even if you go to in Baroda, what is the frequency of say bus number route number 4? तो 4 नंबर रूट की बस कब आती है, तो बताएगा आपको कि हर आधे घंटे पर एक बस आती है, या every 5 minutes you get a Bombay local. Something like that. That is called frequency. तो अभी एक ट्रेन चली गई, उसका मतलब ये नहीं कि आपको कोई दूसरी ट्रेन आएगी नहीं. Another train will be there after 5 minutes. Another train there will be after 5 minutes. That is called frequency. So, am I audible?
Yes, sir, completely.
Thank you.
Yes.
And I hope visible also. दिख भी रहा है ना, मेरी स्क्रीन दिख रही है आपको? Okay.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. So what I am talking is the mean of the frequency data. So it's very simple thing. All of these things you have studied. I am just giving a quick recap here. If xi is suppose repeated f5 times, that suppose x1 observation is repeated f1 times, then there is a slight change. Of course, you can write x1 5 times, and it is 5 बार वही वैल्यू लिखो, उससे अच्छा ये नहीं लिख सकते हो 5 into 5 7. It's a simple mathematics, bhai. So in that case, we are not doing anything extra. We are just writing fi xi 1 upon n summation I is equal to 1 to n fi xi, where n is the total of the frequencies. So if suppose there are k times values are repeated, so f1 plus f2 plus fk. So this is a second formula, or the first formula I can say, for the computation of mean for the frequency data. Now, as you have seen, data can be classified in certain class intervals like 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30, and so on. In that case, how you are going to find out the mean? In that case, what we do is that you have seen all these things. We find out the mid value. What is mid value? Mid value is nothing but the upper limit plus the lower limit divided by 2. Suppose the class interval is 20 to 30, then the mid value will be 15. That is called xi. Because if it is a class interval, you do not know which value it will take. Say, for example, I will give you. Suppose you have made a frequency table of the raw data, and suppose the frequency of the class interval 20 to 30 is 5. What does that mean? Sir, there are 5 values lying between 20 to 30. But what are those values? I don't know. Say, for example, it can be 21, 23, 25, 27, and 29. All these values are between 20 to 30. So you don't know exactly, you don't know that what are the values. You are just given the class intervals. That also I will discuss sometimes later on, that while classifying you are losing certain information. Not now, but if the class intervals are given, in that case xi represents the mid value, and that is the reason, because you don't know between 20 to 30. I just say that between 20 to 30, if the frequency is 5, all the values can be 25. Nobody can stop me. Not only 25, all the values can be say 27, any value. The only idea is that all these values are lying in the same interval. I cannot challenge. So what is the way out? The way out is that if you are talking about certain interval, try to talk about a central value or a middle value, because again, it is expected that the values will tend toward that center point. So this is a deep concept which I am giving, but you understand that in case the data is continuous, that is the class intervals are given, then xi represents the mid value of the class interval. Of course, I can use the same formula, but the question is that, sir, what is xi there? That you don't know. And therefore, it creates sometimes a problem. If you recall, I have told you the concept of what we call as the class intervals which are open-ended. Now, what is open-ended idea? Open-ended का मतलब ये होता है, if you look at the first class, suppose you are starting from 0 to 10. Now, suppose I don't write 0, I write below 10. Now, most of the times what people do, those who have not studied statistics, suppose it is below 10 और आगे दिया है 100 and above, तो वो क्या करते हैं, below 10 में भी 0 to 10 कर देते हैं. And suppose each class interval had a width of 10, तो क्या करेंगे, लास्ट का जो क्लास इंटरवल होगा उसमें भी लिख देंगे 100 to 110, which is completely wrong. As a student of statistics, you should understand below 10 it can be minus 10 also. Why it should stop at 0? So below 10 or above 100 can be 1000 also. We keep open-ended class interval for some reason. If you recall my last lecture, I have given you the example of an outlier. If there are few values which are very high compared to others, तो आप उसके लिए एक वैल्यू के लिए आप क्लास इंटरवल थोड़े बनाते चले जाएंगे. Yes, please. नहीं, एग्जैक्टली अगर पॉपुलेशन में वैल्यूज अगर आपके उसको देख के ही तो आप लोअर लिमिट अपर लिमिट तय करते हैं ना. From where you have to start. If you recall my earlier discussion, we have given you the starting point of a class interval is you have to find out the range. A range का मतलब ये है कि माइनस भी हो सकता है आपके डेटा में अगर है, जैसे तुमने बिल्कुल सही कहा, अगर आपके डेटा में ही नेगेटिव वैल्यू है या 0 से कम वैल्यू है तो ऑफ कोर्स आप अपना क्लास इंटरवल 0 से नहीं बना सकते. या आपको अगर बहुत सारा डेटा अकोमोडेट करना है, सपोज यू आर रिकॉर्डिंग द टेम्परेचर ऑफ ए सिटी और ए पर्टिकुलर प्लेस विच कैन गो इन माइनस. आपको पता है हिल्स पे आप जाते हैं, इवन इन इंडिया द टेम्परेचर कैन गो बिलो -18. तो उस केस में आप क्लास इंटरवल को ओपन छोड़ना पड़ेगा. लेकिन कहीं पे आप कहेंगे ठीक है, जहां से आपको वैल्यू शुरू होती है एक सिंगल वैल्यू आपको देना पड़ेगा, एंड उसके नीचे आप लिखेंगे इसके नीचे कोई भी वैल्यू आ सकती है. एंड ऑफ कोर्स इट विल डिपेंड अपॉन द डेटा अल्टीमेटली. जैसे मैंने अभी कहा कि डेटा में मान लीजिए बाकी सभी वैल्यू 2 डिजिट्स वाली है और एक वैल्यू आ गई आपकी 4 डिजिट वाली, तो उसको अकोमोडेट करने के लिए आप क्लास इंटरवल ऐसा तो नहीं करोगे ना 100 to 110, 110 to 120 करते गए और सभी क्लास में कोई फ्रीक्वेंसी आएगी ही नहीं, क्योंकि अगली वैल्यू है 999। तो 999 को अकोमोडेट करने के लिए आपको अगले 10-20 इंटरवल बनाने पड़ेंगे। तो ऑफ कोर्स लुकिंग एट द डेटा ओनली यू कैन डिसाइड कि कहाँ पे बाकी वैल्यूज, मोस्ट ऑफ द वैल्यूज कंसंट्रेट हो रही हैं। उसके बाद अगर एक दो वैल्यूज हैं जो बहुत छोटी या बहुत बड़ी हैं, तो उसको अकोमोडेट करने के लिए आपको लगातार क्लास इंटरवल बनाने की जरूरत नहीं है। यू कैन लीव सर्टेन ओपन एंडेड। ओपन एंडेड का मतलब ही ये होता है कि एंड अबव या बिलो। सो इज दैट कंफर्टेबल नाउ? ओके, सो वंस यू हैव ओपन एंडेड क्लास इंटरवल, व्हाट इज द ट्रबल? जैसे कि आपने देखा कि 100 एंड अबव लिख दिया, अब उसकी मिडिल वैल्यू कहां से लाओगे तुम? जो मैं भी आपको बता रहा था, जिन्होंने स्टैटिस्टिक्स नहीं पढ़ा वो क्या कहेंगे, सर बहुत आसान है, सभी इंटरवल 80 to 90, 70 to 60, 100 to 100 थे, अगला लास्ट वाला भी 100 to 110 कर देंगे और मिडिल वैल्यू मिल जाएगी, विच इज नॉट अलाउड। सो देयरफॉर इन केस ऑफ, यहाँ पे लिखा हुआ है, it is because of this reason arithmetic mean cannot be calculated for open ended class interval, क्योंकि आप उसकी मिडिल वैल्यू निकाल ही नहीं पाओगे। So this is a drawback, but not always. It happens only in few cases. So that is another just word of caution, that how can you calculate the mean of a discrete distribution or a continuous distribution. दूसरा आता है, तीसरा फॉर्मूला आता है what we call as the weighted mean. Weighted mean का मतलब ये होता है कि you give certain weight. जैसे आपको याद होगा मैंने आपसे कहा था फैमिली बजट। फैमिली बजट का मतलब ये होता है कि एक फैमिली है, उसकी कुछ इनकम है, अपनी इनकम पे वो कितना खर्चा करते हैं। Now खर्चे का मतलब क्या है? Most of the expenditure heads are defined on कपड़ा रोटी मकान, something like how much you spend on your food, how much you spend on your clothing, how much you spend on your house rent and medicine and internet data and mobile data and for all that. All these values weighted का मतलब होता है kind of importance. नेचुरल है कि आप अपना जो घर का खाने पीने का सामान लाते हैं, जो राशन लाते हैं, उतना पैसा आप अपने स्कूटर पे या पेट्रोल पे नहीं खर्च करते। तो वेट का मतलब होता है कि व्हाट इज द वेट मींस नॉट इन द लिटरल सेंस बट इट इज इन ए काइंड ऑफ इम्पोर्टेंस, कि कितनी वैल्यू आप, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल आपके पास 1 लाख रुपए है, आप 1 लाख रुपए को शेयर बाजार में इन्वेस्ट करना चाहते हैं, तो कितना पैसा इन्वेस्ट करें? देयर आर वेरियस ऑप्शंस। यू कैन इन्वेस्ट 1 lakh rupees in one share only. You can invest say 10,000 rupees in 10 places. You can know I'll spend 50,000 on say one particular company जिसके शेयर ज्यादा हैं. I'll spend 10,000 for other. So what again this is related to your importance. So if the weights are different, the mean will also be different. So what is the simple idea? If Wi is the weight assigned to xi, xi is suppose your food. xi now I will also change. Suppose x1 is food, x2 is ration, clothing, x3 is your house rent, x4 you spending on medicine, x4 you are spending on fuel and lighting and so on. So this is x1, x2, x3, x4, and how much you are spending? Say 10% of my income. So what is the average expenditure? That will be calculated by this formula, and therefore we just put a small letter w in the suffix. Now you can understand the notations. If I just write x bar, that x bar means sample mean. But if I represent x bar w, of course this is again sample mean, but it is a weighted sample mean. And why we calculate weighted? Because if we want to give certain importance to certain value, then that has to be assigned a weight. In that sense, it is called a weighted mean. So this is third type of mean. Now, once we have a class interval, so sometimes you'd see, if you are dealing with the income data or if you are dealing with the population data, it is not only in thousands. In India, it is now in lakhs and crores. So what is the class width? Class width may be 1 lakh. I just want to know that in Baroda city, what is the distribution of the population according to age? मतलब 10 साल तक के कितने लोग हैं, 10 से 15 साल के कितने लोग हैं, 15 से 20 साल के कितने लोग हैं, मेल फीमेल भी हम कर सकते हैं। तो पता लगा कि सर देयर आर say for example there are 5 lakh people who are in the age group of 18 to 21, तो 5 लाख लोग हैं। So in that case, the data sometimes becomes very huge. और सपोज यू आर टॉकिंग अबाउट इनकम, अब तो लोगों की इनकम भी लाखों में होने लगी, 1 लाख से 1.5 लाख कितने लोग हैं, 2 लाख से 2.5 लाख कितने लोग हैं, so on so forth. So if your data is very huge in its magnitude, say in terms of lakhs and crores, so the simplest idea is that we can reduce the dimension of the data. Now how can I reduce the dimension of the data? I can divide, say for example, आपको एक simple example पता, और I can use the transformation. Say suppose एक value है 1000, 1000 को हम कैसा लिख सकते हैं, 10 क्यूब, 10 क्यूब को हम कैसा लिख सकते हैं, 3 log 10. अब देखिए 1000 का वो सीधे 10 हो गया, लेकिन आपने ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन क्या लिया वहां पे, लॉगरिथमिक ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन. एंड यू नो दैट लॉगरिथमिक ट्रांसफॉर्मेशन रिड्यूसेस द वेरी हाई डायमेंशन डेटा टू ए सिंगल डायमेंशन. सिर्फ वेरी सिंपल एग्जांपल ना, 1000 becomes only 10, of course log के साथ. So that is one way to transform your data. You can take log, but always you are not, because original data is different. It is not a logarithmic data. So okay, but that is also called one kind of transformation. So if I don't want to take log, sir, what is the another way out? The another way out is that we divide. जैसे suppose the value is 1000, we divide it by 100, so that becomes 10, right? So in that case, what is the basic purpose of transformation? In one line, the basic purpose of the transformation is to reduce the dimension of the data. So as I gave you the example of certain data or certain values can be very high in their magnitude, in that case, we can transform the data, but of course, because the original data is transformed, the value is going to change. So how are we going to adjust? So in the case of example of a log, you can very easily say that, sir, whatever data you have used is transformed into log. So later on, whatever value I am going to get, let us take the anti-log of that. Simple. So I'll get back to the original data. So simply here also, if you have original data and if you transform the data, what is the way to go back? So this is what I'm going to discuss. And in the literature of statistics, this is called change of origin and scale. Why we do it? Because it will become very, very easy. And sometimes it is called shortcut method. Actually, we should not use the word shortcut. This is called another way of calculating, I can say, the mean of the transformed data. So in that case, how do we proceed? So as usual, it is as I told you that its dimension is very high. So if xi is the original data whose dimension is high, we may reduce it by applying the change of origin and scale. What is the change of origin? Change of origin means suppose the original value is 100, I subtract 50 out of it. Why 50? Sir, no 50. I can subtract any value. The basic purpose for me is that I want to reduce the dimension of the data. So we can reduce the dimension of the data by two ways. Just by 100 में से हर value घटा दो कुछ. That is one way. 100 को कुछ value divide कर दो. Say 100 divided by 10. That is another way. And the third way is that you apply both. So there is a concept of what we call as change of origin. There is a concept of what we call as change of scale. And there is a concept of what we call as the change of origin and scale both. So what I am going to discuss is a general thing. So we may reduce the dimension of the data, as I said, by applying the change of origin and scale. क्यों कर रहे हैं? Which will be easier to calculate. So now suppose we define a new variable. So आपका original variable क्या है? xi. Where is my cursor? Please look at that. Now what is xi? Sir, xi is the mid value of the class interval. So this is the xi original. But आप क्या कर रहे हैं? उसमें से कुछ घटा रहे हैं. What when you अभी board नहीं, मैं छिपा नहीं सकता. You can see h also there. Suppose I don't divide by h. So it is simply xi minus a. A means this is the arbitrary mean. इसका नाम दिया गया arbitrary mean क्योंकि एक central value को ही हम a चुनते हैं. So if I just write xi minus a only, in that case it is the change of origin. But now if I divide by h, then we are dividing the scale, changing the scale also. So we define, अब xi में से आप कुछ घटाएंगे, उसमें आप कुछ divide करेंगे, तो value तो same तो रहेगी नहीं. It will change, and if it will change, what is the new variable? Suppose the new variable is ui. So you get the value from xi to ui. That is the meaning of transform. So you are transforming your data. What is your original data? Xi. You are transforming this original data to ui, where a is the arbitrary mean, h is the class width of the class interval. Then what will happen? You see here, I can cross multiply, which will become h times ui is equal to xi minus a. I hope you follow this step. Now you take the summation on both the sides. If you take the summation on both the sides, h is a constant, it is independent of I. So the summation will run here, h times summation I is equal to 1 to n ui, which is summation I is equal to 1 to n xi minus n times a, because a is a constant. But if you take the summation minus a minus a minus a, how many times? N times. So it will be na. Now you divide both the sides by n. If I divide both the sides by n, what I'm going to get? I'm going to get this h times 1 upon n, sorry, 1 upon n summation I is equal to 1 to n ui, which is 1 upon n, and यहाँ पे n and n cancel हो जाएगा ऊपर नीचे. So this is simply minus a. Now what you do? You take this a on this side. And as this is just a notation, अगर आप xi लिख रहे हैं तो आप x बार लिखेंगे, yi लिख रहे हैं तो आप y बार लिखेंगे, ui लिख रहे हैं तो आप u बार लिखेंगे. तो what is u bar? 1 upon n summation I is equal to 1 to n ui is say u bar. And ये तो आपने अभी just ऊपर पढ़ा, this is x bar. So what do you get? X bar is equal to a plus h times u bar. What is the message? Sir, you can transform the data, no problem. Once again, the question mark, why are you transforming? Because I want to reduce the dimension of the data to make the computations easy. Therefore, we write change of origin and scale. But obviously, you can understand, sir, if you change the data, the whole calculation will also change, isn't it? And if the whole calculation is changing, in that case, what is happening? You have to get a new formula. So what is the new formula? X bar will be not only x bar is, otherwise क्या होता है? X bar आप कैसे लिखते? बस summation I is equal to 1 to n divided by n. लेकिन अब वो नहीं चलेगा because you have changed. So the x bar value will be given by a आपने चुना है. You know that value, it's a single value. And u bar I can calculate even without calculator. In the sense that the dimension of the data has been reduced sometimes even to single digit. Lakhs, crores, thousands can be reduced. Suppose that the data is 5,000, 10,000, 15,000. I divide by 1,000. तो क्या होगा? आपका data सिर्फ 5, 10, 15 रह जाएगा. 5, 10, 15 you can count on fingers also. So u bar you can calculate just by without even using a use of a calculator. That is the meaning that it becomes very easier. So sometimes this is called change of origin and scale, but you understand that it is now the, if you have to go back to the original variable, because आपका जो data है वो u नहीं है, आपका data x है. तो सर आपने यहाँ जो निकाला वो तो u bar निकाला आपने, मुझे u bar से क्या करना है? No problem, I can go back by this simple 2 steps. X bar is equal to a plus h times u bar. But what is the message? The message is that the arithmetic mean is affected by the change of origin because I am adding a, and it is also affected by the scale because I am multiplying by h. So this is called fourth formula for the calculation of mean, where we apply the change of origin and scale. So this is very important. I hope it will help you in doing the practicals. जब आपको practical करवाए जाएंगे. So these are 4 formula for the calculation of mean as a measure of central tendency. Now in general, हो सकता है आपने यहाँ तक पढ़ा होगा. In general, now what we are going to discuss are certain properties of arithmetic mean. This is the first property, very important property, and whenever I say important, it becomes important concept wise, and also it becomes important from the point of view of the exam also. I don't know what will be the scenario for your exam. Let us not discuss abhi to classes shuru hue. But I am going to provide you all the derivations just like a classroom. It is not that I am going to just like talk in the form of a objective kind of a question. There may be 1 or 2 line or maybe 5 lines derivations also. So we are just going to prove everything, anything. We are not going to accept just because I am saying so, you accept it. No. So the very important property of the arithmetic mean is, it says that algebraic sum of the deviations of a set of values taken from their arithmetic mean is 0. Now this is very interesting, and this property will be used till the end. Till the end means आप BSc करो, MSc करो, कहीं ना कहीं ये प्रॉपर्टी घूम घूम करके वापस आएगी. Now what is algebraic sum? Sum तो आपने पढ़ा है. Algebraic sum का मतलब होता है taking the summation with respect to their sign also. Sign का मतलब xi minus x bar पॉजिटिव भी हो सकता है, निगेटिव भी हो सकता है. That is the idea of algebraic sum. Deviation का मतलब क्या होता है? xi minus x bar. This is called deviation because xi is the ith observation and x bar is the center. जैसे मैंने आपको just अभी कहा, say the capital of Gujarat is Gandhinagar. Fine. What is the distance of Gandhinagar and Baroda? That is called deviation or a distance. Say it is say 125 kilometers. But what is the deviation of Rajkot and Gandhinagar? So that may be 200 kilometers. So that is a deviation or a distance. So that is the meaning of xi minus x bar. But again, if I have my data, of course I can prove it without frequency also, but I am proving in general. Suppose there is a frequency data, then what is the deviation or what is the algebraic sum? So by definition, it is summation I is equal to 1 to n fi xi minus x bar. Now let us take fi inside this bracket. If I take it like this, it will become summation I is equal to 1 to n fi xi. And again, see, x bar is independent of the subscript I. So I can take it outside the summation sign and we can write it minus x bar times summation I is equal to 1 to n fi. Now, you know, just ऊपर आपने देखा formula number 2, x bar is 1 upon n summation fi xi. तो यहाँ से क्रॉस मल्टीप्लाई अगर तुम करोगे तो समेशन fi xi की जो कीमत होगी that will be n times x bar. और समेशन fi तो n है ही. So this is again n times x bar. So what do you get? This is also an x bar and this is also an x bar. That is what I have written here. And therefore it is 0. So just one line proof. But this one line proof is very, very useful property of the arithmetic mean. So we call it algebraic sum of the deviations of a set of values taken from their arithmetic mean is 0 is proved in general. मैंने यहाँ कोई डेटा लेकर के इसको प्रूव नहीं किया है आपके लिए. आपका कुछ भी डेटा हो, x1, x2, xn क्या होगा मुझे नहीं पता है, x bar क्या होगा मुझे नहीं पता है, but in general you have proved that this is equal to 0. So this is the first property. Now sometimes people also talk about, आगे चल के जब हम dispersion की बात करेंगे, तो the deviation or the distance actually cannot be negative. तो एक तरीका तो क्या है कि ठीक है इसको रखिए आप algebraic sum लेकर के आप करते हैं. दूसरा तरीका क्या होगा? If I square the deviation, say for example, this is again very interesting property. The sum of the squares of the deviations of a set of values is minimum. This is the basis of the formula for the variance. Hopefully आपने variance नाम सुना होगा. Doesn't matter, नहीं सुना है तो भी मैं आपको दोबारा पढ़ाने वाला हूँ. But this property actually tells you that why you should take the deviation or why you should define the formula of the variance from x bar, not from any other value. Say ideally what do you want? I want that the deviation or the distance, जिसको कि आप deviation, distance कुछ भी कहते हैं, आगे चल करके there is a concept of error. ये जितना कम हो उतना अच्छा है. Deviation जितना कम हो उतना अच्छा है, लेकिन आपके हाथ में नहीं है कि डेविएशन आप अपने आप कम कर पाएंगे, बिकॉज द डेटा इज कमिंग ऑन इट्स ओन. अगर आज मान लीजिए आपके हाइट ऑफ द स्टूडेंट्स सबकी बहुत ज़्यादा वेरी करती है तो डेविएशन भी ज़्यादा होगा, उसको आप कम ज़्यादा नहीं कर सकते. बट द मोस्ट इंपॉर्टेंट पार्ट इज दैट आप उसको मेजर कहाँ से कर रहे हैं. डेविएशन को आप मेजर कर रहे हैं सेंटर से. तो क्या कहता है? द सम ऑफ द स्क्वायर्स ऑफ डेविएशंस ऑफ ए सेट ऑफ वैल्यूज इज मिनिमम when it's taken about arithmetic mean. अभी आप आगे चल करके पढ़ेंगे, अभी तो आपने AM ही पढ़ा है, आगे GM HM भी आएगा, फिर मीडियन मोड भी आएगा. तो why it is so? We are going to prove it mathematically. Fine. How do you define the deviation? सर ये रहा xi minus, अब मैंने x bar नहीं लिखा, आप ध्यान दीजिएगा. क्यों? क्योंकि I am taking the sum of the squares of the deviation about any point A, any arbitrary point. तो अभी इसको भूल जाओ, जहां मेरा कर्सर एक सेकंड उस पर ध्यान मत दो. तो क्या कहता है, सम मतलब समेशन लेना पड़ेगा। कहां से कहां तक समेशन लेंगे आप, i इज इक्वल टू 1 से n तक लेंगे आप, दैट इज वन थिंग। ओके, सो i, दिस इज द सम, दैट इज समेशन i इज इक्वल टू 1 to n, किसका, स्क्वायर का, ये रहा स्क्वायर। सो दिस इज द, ये पहला सेंटेंस जो आपने लिखा, क्या लिखा आपने, सम ऑफ स्क्वायर्स। तो ये xi माइनस ए स्क्वायर है और इसका ये सम है। fi मैं आपको इन जनरल इसलिए बता रहा हूं क्योंकि अगर आपका डेटा फ्रीक्वेंसी है, जो कि मोस्टली होगा, इट इज नॉट, देखो एक चीज तुम समझो, रियल लाइफ में भी ऐसा तो है नहीं ना कि एक 5 फीट 5 इंच के एक ही आदमी है पूरी दुनिया में। अरे सर 5 फीट 5 इंच के तो 1 करोड़ आदमी है हिंदुस्तान के अंदर, तो फ्रीक्वेंसी 1 करोड़ हो जाएगी, उसके लिए क्या कर लोगे तुम। Therefore, I am talking in general. I am not talking a particular value. So, ये जो आपने स्टेटमेंट दिया कि the sum of the squares of deviation. So this is the deviation, this is the square, and this is the sum. About any arbitrary, पहले मैं x बार नहीं कह रहा हूं इसको. It is any arbitrary point a. तो आपको करना क्या है? What this property says? It says that we have to show that this quantity, this is, suppose I am denoting it by z, is minimum when a is equal to x bar. Now I am not very sure, लेकिन आप सबने पढ़ा होगा या नहीं पढ़ा होगा, तो बीएससी में पढ़ेंगे आप। मैथमेटिक्स में एक चीज आती है जिसको हम बोलते हैं कैलकुलस। कैलकुलस में भी होता है डिफरेंशियल कैलकुलस, इंटीग्रल कैलकुलस, एंड इन डिफरेंशियल कैलकुलस देयर इज अ थ्योरी ऑफ मैक्सिमा एंड मिनिमा, कि कोई भी एक फंक्शन अगर आपके पास है, वो फंक्शन मैक्सिमम कब होगा और वो फंक्शन मिनिमम कब होगा। तो उसके लिए दो कंडीशन है। वी फाइंड आउट द पार्शियल डेरिवेटिव of the function, we equate it to 0. Again, we find out the second derivative and try to see whether the second derivative is negative or positive. If it is negative, then it's maximum. If it is positive, then it is minimum. So I'm applying the principle of maxima and minima from mathematics and from the differential calculus, and we differentiate this quantity z with respect to a. ये जो आप थोड़ा टेढ़ा देख रहे होंगे ना, this is not dy by dx. This is delta, and you can understand this delta or d like this is a partial derivative. It is not a total derivative. So by what is the condition by maxima and minima? Partial derivative of z with respect to a should be equated to 0, and you should also check that whether this second derivative is positive or not. Okay sir, very simple derivation. इसको अगर आप differentiate करेंगे a के हिसाब से, तो दिस विल बी -2 टाइम्स समेशन, -2 आएगा क्योंकि माइनस है यहाँ पर, समेशन ओवर आई एफ आई एक्स आई माइनस ए इज इक्वल टू 0. नाउ -2 को अगर आप इस तरफ लाएंगे, क्योंकि 0 है तो कोई फर्क पड़ेगा नहीं, इट सिंपली इंप्लाइज दैट समेशन ओवर एफ आई एक्स आई माइनस ए इज 0. अगेन यू टेक समेशन एफ आई इनसाइड द समेशन साइन, then you will get summation fi xi minus a times summation fi is 0. And then what do you get? Again from here, a is equal to summation fi xi upon summation fi, which is nothing but by definition formula number 2, which is x bar. तो आपको क्या मिला? a is equal to x bar. अभी कहानी खत्म नहीं हुई सर, हमको सेकंड डेरिवेटिव चेक करना है। कोई बात नहीं, यहीं से एक बार फिर से डिफरेंशिएट करो। a के हिसाब से करोगे तो -2 को ऑलरेडी चूंकि तुम्हारे पास है, और फिर -a के हिसाब से करोगे तो एक -1 फिर से आएगा। तो दिस विल बी -2 summation over i fi and -1, which is actually minus minus plus, and summation over i fi is n, which is always positive. n is the total frequency जो कभी 0 होगा ही नहीं, तो ये वैल्यू होगी जो तुम्हारी, that will be 2n, which is greater than 0. तो दोनों कंडीशंस तुम्हारी सेटिस्फाई होती हैं, एंड इन दैट केस यू कैन से दैट दिस फंक्शन, कौन सा फंक्शन, z जो तुमने डिफाइन किया, z फंक्शन अटेन्स इट्स मैक्सिमा एट ए पॉइंट। कौन से पॉइंट पर? जो आपने पॉइंट यहाँ पे डिफरेंशिएट किया था। क्या डिफरेंशिएट करके निकाला आपने? ये पॉइंट आपने जो निकाला, a इज इक्वल टू समेशन fi xi, विच इज एक्चुअली x बार एंड विच इज ऑल्सो गेटिंग पॉजिटिव वैल्यू। सो z इज मिनिमम एट ए पॉइंट a इज इक्वल टू x बार, और यही तो आपको साबित करना था। You want to prove what? Go back to this property. फिर से एक एक वर्ड को पकड़ो। This sum, ये रहा sum, i is equal to 1 to n. Squares of deviations, ये रहा squares of deviation. xi minus a का square is minimum when taken about arithmetic mean. That means I have proved दैट a इज इक्वल टू एक्स बार। इसका मतलब अगर अब मैं यहाँ पे एक्स बार रख दूं a की जगह, तो जो क्वांटिटी होगी, कौन सी क्वांटिटी होगी आपकी, z इज इक्वल टू आई इज इक्वल टू 1 to n fi xi माइनस एक्स बार। ये आगे चल के बहुत बड़ा काम करने जा रहा है। दिस सम ऑफ स्क्वायर्स ऑफ द डेविएशन विल बी,
Excuse me, sir.
हाँ प्लीज।
Sir, how
Hello.
did we get -2 over there?
अरे दैट इज सिंपली ए डेरिवेटिव। डिफरेंशियल कैलकुलस पढ़ा है या नहीं पढ़ा है तुमने? देखो मैं फिर से बताता हूँ, ये जो क्वांटिटी है तुम्हारी एक्स आई माइनस एक्स बार स्क्वायर, इसको a के हिसाब से डिफरेंशिएट करोगी तो क्या आएगा? व्हाट इज द डेरिवेटिव ऑफ एक्स स्क्वायर?
2x.
वेरी गुड। एंड नाउ व्हाट इज द डेरिवेटिव ऑफ माइनस के साथ?
-2x. Okay. Yeah,
Hmm.
got it. Yeah.
राइट।
Thank you,
तो
sir.
चूंकि यहाँ पे देखो बेटा a माइनस साइन के साथ है ना, a इज हियर विद ए माइनस साइन, दैट इज व्हाई यू आर गेटिंग माइनस हियर। 2 तो समझ में आ रहा है, जैसे तुमने खुद कहा 2x, तो 2 टाइम्स ये क्वांटिटी तो रहेगी ही रहेगी। माइनस क्यों आया? बिकॉज ऑफ दिस माइनस a। और क्यों?
Got it.
क्योंकि तुम समझो, यू आर डिफरेंशिएटिंग इट विद रिस्पेक्ट टू a ना, तो व्हाट इज द डेरिवेटिव ऑफ a विद रिस्पेक्ट टू a? दैट इज 1। बट सर इट इज -1, तो ये माइनस आएगा यहाँ। जो आगे चल के मैंने लिखा है ये देखो, फिर से तुमने डिफरेंशिएट किया ना, -2 तो था ही, एंड देन -1 यहाँ पे कैसे आया, वही तुम्हारा सवाल। तो सर बिकॉज आई एम डिफरेंशिएटिंग इट वंस अगेन विद रिस्पेक्ट टू a, एंड इट इज नॉट a सर, इट इज -a। क्लियर?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. So I hope that is comfortable to all of you. I hope so. So fine, doesn't matter if you have any doubt, you have every right to stop me and ask me. Doesn't matter. So this is what actually I wanted to prove in general. These are the results, as I told you, which will be used later on also, which will be very helpful for you. So almost my time is over. Do you have my lecture after my lecture? मेरे लेक्चर के बाद भी लेक्चर है आपका?
Yeah, sir, it's for mathematics.
Yes, sir.
नहीं नहीं, किसी का भी, डजंट मैटर, मैथमेटिक्स का है जिसका। अच्छा तो तुम स्टैट प्रिंसिपल वाले हो? हाँ हाँ हाँ, नहीं ओके। आई डोंट वांट टू कवर एनीथिंग इन हरी, बिकॉज एक्चुअली इट इज ऑलरेडी 12:02 इन माय क्लॉक। So doesn't matter. I would like to stop here only, and then we shall meet tomorrow again at 11 o'clock as per our schedule, right? Till then, just a quick recap. We have just got the idea of central tendency today, and we have proved just 2 results. We'll continue from this point onwards tomorrow. And once again, before I stop, I am not going to upload anything just now. Once I'll cover up to certain topics, again in this sheet of papers, I'll upload in the file section. Till then, one last thing for those who have joined new in this class, and I am told that that is the final list of the BSc Statistics Principle. Please make sure that you are included in the team. If you are not included in the team, once again I will request you to please come through the head of the department, because the list is not with me and I cannot add anybody arbitrarily. So I request that if you have changed your subject combination, or if you have come to Statistics Principle and your name is not there, का मतलब आपको मेरे क्लास का मेल नहीं मिल रहा है. If you are not getting the mail of my lecture, please inform it to the head of the department, requesting him to request me to add you in the team, right? So before I sign off,
I'm sorry.
हाँ बोलिए.
हेलो सर.
हाँ बोलो.
सर मेरा एक प्रॉब्लम ये हुआ है कि मेरा प्रिंसिपल सब्जेक्ट स्टैटिस्टिक्स ही है, राइट? सेकंड में और थर्ड में मुझे मैथ्स मिला था एज अ प्राइमरी सब्जेक्ट. तो मुझे स्टैटिस्टिक्स के कोई भी कोर सब्जेक्ट में अभी तक ऐड नहीं किया गया, एंड दे आर कंटिन्यूसली एडिंग मी इन द मैथ्स कोर सब्जेक्ट्स.
तो तुम्हारा स्टैटिस्टिक्स प्रिंसिपल है ना, तुम बता रही हो?
हाँ सर, मुझे स्टैटिस्टिक्स में कंटिन्यू करना है, पर स्टैटिस्टिक्स के कोर सब्जेक्ट्स जो मुझे मिले हैं एज केमिस्ट्री एंड मैथ्स, उसमें मुझे कोई कोर सब्जेक्ट टीम से मुझे कोई ऐड नहीं किया है. और मैथ्स का जो कोर सब्जेक्ट मिला है फिजिक्स एंड स्टैटिस्टिक्स, उसमें मुझे ऐड किया हुआ है.
ओके, इन दैट केस व्हाट यू कैन डू, व्हाट इज योर नेम?
अपेक्षा गरनारा सर.
अपेक्षा आप एक काम ये कीजिए कि 2 टीचर सुपरवाइजर हैं हमारे. एक है धर्मेंद्र शाह करके, राइट? और एक है रूपल शाह. इनका ईमेल कुछ TS1 TS2 करके, मुझे आगे याद नहीं आता। आप उनको
Okay.
एक मेल डालिए, या आप रूपल स्टैटिस्टिक्स की है, ठीक है,
हाँ हाँ
आप उनको बोलिए कि मैडम मेरा ये प्रॉब्लम है और मुझे स्टैटिस्टिक्स प्रिंसिपल में तो ऐड किया है जैसे आप बता रहे हैं कि बाकी में नहीं ऐड किया, तो उनको कहिए कि
Yes,
सर
sir.
जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल मैं अपनी टीम में किसको ऐड कर सकता हूँ, जो मैंने अभी कहा कि जिन लोगों
Yes.
की लिस्ट मुझे डिपार्टमेंट की तरफ से आई है ना,
Yeah.
क्योंकि मुझे तो नहीं पता है एज ए टीचर या एज ए प्रोफेसर, किसी को नहीं पता है कि कितने लोगों ने स्टैटिस्टिक्स प्रिंसिपल में फाइनली एडमिशन लिया, ये कितने लोगों ने रीशफल में छोड़ दिया फॉर एग्जांपल।
Yes, yes.
तो जैसे तुम कंटिन्यू करना चाहती हो, इट्स ए गुड थिंग, ठीक है।
Yes, sir.
तो उस केस में क्या होगा कि तुम जैसे आज मेरा लेक्चर तुम अटेंड कर रही हो, ऐसे ही तुम बाकी दूसरे टीचर का भी अटेंड कर पाओगी या कर रही होगी। तो स्टैटिस्टिक्स प्रिंसिपल इज नॉट ए प्रॉब्लम, राइट?
Yes.
बिकॉज यू आर नॉट एडेड इन द कोर, जस्ट रिपोर्ट इट टू द टीचर सुपरवाइजर। तो वो
Yes,
क्या
sir.
करेगी
But I just may talk to the mathematics principal,
हाँ,
the person who
पर
had
बेटा
got me in
मैथमेटिक्स
the
प्रिंसिपल में तुम
principal.
नहीं जा सकती ना, क्योंकि तुम स्टैट
Yes,
प्रिंसिपल में
sir.
हो। हाँ
Exactly, sir. I just
हाँ,
talked
बोलो।
him that why I am getting
हेलो,
into added into the team, sir. Hello, sir. Hello. Hello.
I think there is some connection issue.
Yes, I also think that.
Do you want that mail address I have?
I had, but I just mailed around 4 to 5 days ago, but no response is there, so that's why I just contact you, sir.
Yeah, even I mailed them, but I got the pure response from them.
That's the problem. I'm not getting any response, so
You may take her number from that online website, I guess.
okay, I'll try it out. Huh?
Yeah, yeah.
Team, I also have one doubt. If you can help me with the same, anyone? Recently, I got a mail to join the statistics. So I, left some. I was not able to attend some of the lectures in starting. So has sir given any of this notes or course regarding any information, any notes online?
Yeah,
hello.
it is there in the
Sorry, I just lost my connectivity, but doesn't matter. What I was trying to answer to Apeksha, that you please get in contact with the teachers of physics and mathematics. They will help you out.
Okay, sir, sure.
Okay, so now fine. I am going to leave the meeting today. We shall meet again tomorrow. But one final request is that those who have joined BSc Statistics Principal should remain in the group and try to attend the lectures. Otherwise, later on, it will be very difficult for you to catch up. So it is requested that if you have decided finally that you want to remain in BSc Statistics Principal, please remain in the group and try to attend all the lectures, not only my lecture, try to attend all the lectures. So
So
fine.
only one last
हाँ
doubt.
बोलो बोलो, हाँ बोलो बोलो।
सर एक्चुअली क्या हुआ ना, हमारा एडमिशन एक दिन लास्ट राउंड में हुआ था, तो मुझे मेल 26 को आया लेक्चर अटेंड करने का। तो प्रीवियस
बात
जो
नहीं।
आपके लेक्चर्स मैंने मिस कर दिए हैं, उसका कुछ नोट्स आपने कोर्स का कुछ सेंड किया है क्या, डेटा?
हाँ मैंने अपलोड किया है फाइल सेक्शन में।
फाइल
जैसे मैंने
सेक्शन
आपको
में।
ऐड किया ना इस बार, अभी जैसे आज मैंने नई लिस्ट को ऐड किया हुआ है, तो आप जब टीम पे जाएंगे, टीम पे आपको दिखेगा FY BSc रीजनिंग विद डेटा ग्रुप दिखेगा आपको, वहाँ पे टीम दिखेगी, सॉरी। उस टीम के फाइल सेक्शन में जब आप जाएंगे तो आपको पेज नंबर 1 टू पेज नंबर 11, जो मैंने अभी आज सुबह भी कंफर्म किया, ऑल दोज पेजेस आर अपलोडेड, तो आपको वहाँ पे मिल जाएगा।
ठीक है, ओके, डन सर, थैंक यू सो मच।
Okay, okay. So thank you all for today's session. I am going to leave because you have another class. See you tomorrow.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Sir.
આજે મેથ્સ નો ક્લાસ છે?
Yeah, it's at 12:15.
મને કોઈ મેલ નથી આવ્યો હજી.
મને પણ નથી આવ્યો હજી.
Teams માં add નથી તમે લોકો?
મારામાં મેથ્સ ના બે ગ્રુપ છે.
હા, એ બે છે, કારણ કે એક કેલ્ક્યુલસ છે ને એક નંબર થિયરી, બે ક્લાસીસ છે મેથ્સ ના.
ઓકે, તો હમણાં કયો છે એમાંથી?
મને બી આઈડિયા નથી, મારે જોવું પડશે. क्या फिजिक्स तो नहीं है, फिजिक्स आई थिंक तो अभी देर है स्टार्ट होने में.
हाँ अभी तो स्टार्टिंग नहीं है.
अभी शायद नंबर थियरी का क्लास है.
ઓકે.
ये तो
किसी पास
अभी
ज्वाइनिंग लिंक है क्या?
हाँ,
मैथ्स का क्लास कैसे ज्वाइन करना है?
અરે કોઈ જ લિંક નથી, મેલ
देखते
પણ
हैं
નથી આવ્યો.
લિંક હોય તો મોકલી દેજો ને WhatsApp માં.
હા,
एज ज्वाइन टाइम.
आई थिंक टीम्स पर ही
અમારાથી
आएगा
પણ
ना.
જોઈન થાય. પણ
કઈ નહીં, જોઈ
મારી
લઈશ.
અંદર નથી આવ્યો હજી મેલ કે એવું કશું.
તો કોઈને નથી આવ્યો એ તો.
કોઈને નથી
તો પછી ક્લાસ કેમ ન લેવાના?
શી ખબર.
एक्चुअली में मैं काले सर
હા,
मैं काले सर ने पूछा क्लास स्टार्ट होगी ज्वाइन कर लो.